So, welcome back to Squirrel Trails. This is our Tuesday video, much more relaxed video. This way we can rant a little bit.
Yeah, because as you can see, I'm kind of leaning back, and we're just going to have some fun here. So this is a follow-up from what?
Monday's video. We talked about the Area 51 raid, and we also talked about Uber and Lyft.
I'm glad you remember that. Yay.
So a little bit about the Area 51 raid.
Okay. Area 51, they can't stop us all. That was the title. Started as a joke. Kind of ended as kind of a joke.
It started as a joke. Yeah, more or less ended as a joke.
The reality is, people had to report. How many people signed up?
So 2 million people, over 2 million people signed up.
Over 2 million people signed up to go. And that wasn't interested. That was go. Signed up to go.
Yep.
Wow. I mean, if you've ever been out in the far reaches of Nevada or the West, 2 million people on a road that's probably maybe 2 lanes wide on each side.
I mean,
maybe
if 2 million were driving down the road, people think there'd be an earthquake.
Yeah. Cascadia would be gone.
Yeah. So, I see that scene from what movie was it? Where the guys are driving down the RVs are driving down the dang alien one.
It's an alien one. Okay, I was going to go with Convoy, but I have no clue now.
Yeah.
And neither does he.
Apollo. No. Different alien movie. Anyways.
Independence Day?
Independence Day.
Oh.
No, so no.
God.
Thank you for that one. Yeah. This is why I'm self-employed. So
in a truck talking to yourself.
I can see the convoys driving down.
Yeah.
I was hoping to see that. No, it wasn't even that.
No, if 2 million people had tried to drive down that road, they'd still be driving down that road.
Well, no, but they split off, so you can go to the dirt.
Oh, now I'm okay. So now I'm actually thinking that the movie you were thinking of may have been Smokey and the Bandit 2.
No.
Okay.
So they were all going toward the airport. They're going toward the end of the movie.
All right. Okay. Whatever.
Yeah. Whatever. Another sidetrack. If you know what movie I'm talking about,
you can post.
Let us know below.
Or you have other ideas. Neither one of us clearly know. So,
again, I have pictures on there. So,
on that happy note.
It was not at all what I was actually hoping for.
Well, there was. I mean, to be honest, okay, I try to always be honest, but okay.
We were talking. So I was actually talking about going.
Yes, you were.
I kind of wanted to go, not to go raid, not to do any of that kind of stuff, but to see what people would be willing to do.
Well, and people showed up, and as far as I could tell from some of the pictures, costumes. I was going to say alien outfits, and some of them looked like more something out of Cinderella. So
yeah, or in the alleys of streets. But yeah.
Yes. So, well, there's okay. So anyway, people did show up, and a handful showed up. There was a stage production, which they're going to continue to do. So that was great. And I absolutely believe that this could become an ongoing event.
These days, with kids these days, young people these days.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
I'm getting old. I think this could definitely.
I'm looking for the gray hair.
Oh yeah. No, it's only you. So I dyed my hair. So yeah, no.
Your mom wants me to too.
TMI. So,
I wonder why we're not getting subscribers.
So if you're still listening to us,
yes.
what do you hope we get back on track? Because this video is all unedited. This is just straight up bam.
Yeah, I asked him last week. I said, "So you cut out those other parts where we kind of went off the rails?" He says, "Hell no."
Nope. This is just us, and again, we are trying to grow the channel, but
You couldn't tell by listening to us, but yeah.
yeah. So
All right, so back to where we were
back on
trying to
track.
go.
So yeah, so there were. I mean, this could happen every year. I'm expected to happen every year.
I expect somebody to kick it off, to try to do it again next year. I do wish a couple thousand people had shown up.
Yeah.
So that would have been nice. As an ongoing event, something that could be kind of cool, speak to science.
Grow the community down there.
Grow the
I mean,
community.
it's a small town. Help that.
Well, not everybody that lives in a small town like that wants a lot of major growth.
True.
There's reasons they live there.
If you don't, well, yeah, because they've been abducted, so they can't go from the home.
Okay.
No. I mean, if you're a small town like that, is there to make money?
Right. Okay, well, the town the town is there to support the community. There's a lot of people in small towns around this country
Yes,
that would just as
those
soon
towns perfectly fine with being
Yeah,
small.
right.
But this town in particular, it's essentially a tourist attraction.
Well, yes, okay. Yes, when you call your hotel the Little Alien, essentially, the Little Ollie Inn.
Yeah.
So go look it up. It's it's a nice play on words. And
Just like Neil Armstrong.
I was hoping he wasn't going to go there. Okay, go there.
So if you Neil A, right?
Yes.
Neil Armstrong, first
Yeah.
guy on Earth, right? If you take a space,
First guy on the moon. That other object.
well, if he first guy on his Earth, maybe. So if you take away the space out of his last name and flip all the letters, the words around, yeah, just let me know what it thinks. Let me know what you see.
Okay, and after you do that, go take your parents' or grandparents' little vinyl 45 players and start playing them backwards and see what you say. That's what I was. Yeah, yes.
Okay, yeah. So anyways,
There's a callback to when I was a kid.
what's that?
Vinyl is now beginning to outsell digital.
Well, yeah, because everything digital is just there's no more. We already had it.
Okay, all right. Back. So I think we're probably about done. I would expect to see that, and I say this with no facts and probably no reason either, that there'll be another Area 51, they can't stop us all, or Area 51 gathering again next year, just because. Now, that being said, it'll be interesting to see what happens to the airbase if that occurs.
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing that they don't like that kind of publication. So,
If they didn't like the publication, the town wouldn't be. It wouldn't exist.
well, that's true. Well,
But anyway, yeah. And this is way off what we normally talk about. So,
not sure it's going to get any better going on, but we are going to talk about Uber and Lyft.
so Uber and Lyft. So talk about a little bit kind of what the article got into.
Okay, so again, for those of you that didn't listen yesterday, one, shame on you, but two,
Go back.
the Forbes had an article entitled "California Cannot Fix Uber and Lyft." And the reality is they can't. And the article goes into a lot of reasons why, with California AB5, that's not actually going to fix the gig economy and may actually kill the gig economy. So now we can talk all day about whether or not the gig economy is good or bad, but from a standpoint of those of us that have worked in IT or worked in other places, the gig economy is kind of a good thing.
I mean, for them to kind of want to get rid of the gig economy, I think it's actually bad economically.
So let's talk about what's the difference between a gig economy and a regular employment-based economy.
Okay.
Neither of us are economists, by the way.
No.
But I've been a long-term employee. I've done a little bit of consulting on this side. David is self-employed.
I've been a long-term self-employed.
Right, and actually making some money out of it. So, yet we do see the two sides of this.
Yeah, we do.
So, what's the difference?
So, in my opinion, again, it's their opinion, and not those who are employers, or at least your employers,
Yeah, but say you're self-employed. I hope it's your opinion.
Yeah, right. So does that mean I can't? Yeah, no. We'll go way down. So I honestly think that the difference is, so gig economy is basically working for yourself and a lot of part-time. Everything is based on you.
Well, and everything's based upon the concept of demand and availability.
Yep.
You're choosing to determine if you're available and you'll work, assuming there's some demand for that.
Way down in the yes.
It's way down in the weeds, yes.
So a employee. So we have a gig economy and you have essentially the job economy.
Right. In the job economy,
job economy is.
I show up at a given time.
Okay.
I do a given job, and I'm paid for either salary or hourly, and actually the concept of salary is getting challenged again. Whole other conversation, I don't want to get into that one, but...
So is hourly.
Well, right, okay, so help. I'm normally one that takes us way off path. So you're supposed to be the governor in this conversation?
Yeah.
So right. So now in a regular employment situation, I show up at an expected time to do an expected function and get paid an expected amount for the time that I do that.
Okay. And you're told what to do when to do it.
Told what to do.
When to take breaks.
When to take breaks. Yeah, sometimes yes, sometimes no. But basically, I'm told when to be there.
Yep. Well, your job.
Right.
If you work in a manufacturing place.
Yeah.
I mean, as a whole, again, IT field.
No, actually, we do, because if you think about it in the IT field, if I've got coverage for like call centers and help desks and that kind of stuff, I can't have everybody take a break at the same time.
Yeah,
it's just not going to work.
So most manufacturers,
right,
they take a break either at 11:30 or 12:30.
Right.
And depending on, half the guys will take one and half the guys will take the other side.
Right.
That way when people show up to pick up deliveries, someone's there.
So the distinction on the gig economy is, I want to be available to work
whenever I want to be.
Right, whenever you want
whenever I want to work.
Right. And assuming there's work to be had.
Yep. Like today, I actually had a phone call this morning. Said, hey, do you want to come get this?
You said no?
I said no.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've ever heard that.
Well, he even said, yeah, it's probably not worth for you to come get it, but I just wanted to call and ask.
Okay, so anyway, but that's actually a clear distinction of this. David was home, and which you can be with a gig economy. You don't have to be sitting someplace on a street corner.
Good.
You can be at home. Granted, he lives in the middle of nowhere, but and take a call and be able to perform a service.
Yep.
And that service could be any one of a number of things.
Sure.
You could be taking a call to do, a penetration test.
Yeah.
You could do something like that say, would you run this test? Which you could do from your home.
Your home.
That's a perfect example of what could be a gig economy. Now, you could be living someplace that actually has people, and that...
I don't live in that sounds bigger than that.
That is true. There is a downtown here now that I think about it.
I mean, we have 6 bars.
Yes.
We're a big town.
Okay. For those of you who don't know, we live in the Midwest, and where the definition of a town is, in many cases, it has a bar, a gas station, and a church. The gas station is optional. So.
Oh, yeah. For every church, there's a bar.
Yeah, pretty much. So. It's really not a joke either. So, am I going to get hate mail at my desk? So
maybe it's handwritten mail. Put a right little note.
So anyway, so what's happened? Let's go to the background of why this is all happening.
Yeah,
we are way up. So my apologies if you're still here. I owe you a donut. So but you'll have to send me a comment on where to send it.
Yeah, great. You have to subscribe to the channel to send you a donut.
I do know a really good donut place in the Twin Cities. So, there are, so this kind of came up out of actually the big recession.
Yep.
It was really where this kind of came out of. I mean, there were a number of us that did part-time jobs consulting, where you have a particular skill set. No, it's not that movie. And you're able to do something on the side. I mean, I did some security consulting, some IT consulting. I did some actually business organization consulting. There's a scary thought.
Yikes.
Back in the 80s and early 90s on the site. I could do that in the evening, didn't impact my job, could do that, and did that for a few hours a night.
Was it called a gig, or what was it called way back when?
It was just called consulting.
Okay.
It was side gig.
So side gig, or was it? Yeah.
It was actually consulting.
Okay. But back then, I mean, we're talking 20 years.
Don't you wish? I wish.
Has a gig economy been around that long?
The gig economy has actually been around longer than that.
Yeah.
You go back to the concept of cowboys.
Yep.
I mean, that's kind of the ultimate gig economy.
Very true. Cowboys and
Yeah, because back then you got hired for, I mean, you're a migrant worker. You went from ranch to ranch in many cases.
Yeah.
You got hired for the roundup and trail drive.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, exactly. Or harvest time.
Or harvest time, yeah. I mean, all these things come into play. Now, the difference between a migrant, a job that's seasonal and something that's...
But anyways.
Yeah.
Again, we like being specific.
Sorry.
We're both very good at going. It's exactly what it is. So, but
we should have called this rabbit hole versus squirrel trail.
Yeah. So, or just Doug. If you don't get the reference, think about it.
Keep going.
Oh man, it makes me smile every time. So, California is trying to get rid of the gig economy.
Well, they're not really per se trying to get rid of it.
Well, are they trying to get rid of the gig economy?
Actually, what they're trying to say is, if you're doing something like a gig economy, if this is the company's role, i.e., they don't want to get rid of consulting, but if they're saying that I want to be able to hire somebody on demand as they're available, which is what a gig economy is. And if you think about what Uber and Lyft and Dine and Dash and all those are.
So is that the same thing as a company calling a contractor in? It's the same thing.
Right.
On a need basis.
Yeah, it's right. But what the distinction in the law is, the law actually has a component that says, if this is your job. So when I hire a consultant to come in and work for a bank that I may be working for, that's different, because my job isn't information technology. The company doesn't do that.
Okay.
Now, on the other hand, if I'm a consulting firm, that's what I do, and I bring somebody in part-time to do that as a consultant, and they're what we call a 1099 versus a W-2 employee, so there's no benefits.
So why should, to be honest, I think, well, one, if you're an Uber or Lyft driver, you should own your own business. Go out and actually create a name for your business.
Okay.
You actually get much more tax benefits that way.
Again, neither of us are tax folks. I took my last tax class back in 1978. There's been maybe three major revisions since then. David hasn't seen the inside of an accounting classroom. So, be careful following advice from us on tax.
Don't, if it's out there. But I read it online, it must be true. So, from my perspective, owning a business,
right?
Especially if you want to be self-employed.
If you want the flexibility of self-employed.
If you want to be if you want to have the flexibility, if you have a business name, it's a lot easier. But if you do read the rules in AB5,
right?
If you do have, if you work under your own name,
right?
You actually can't be considered an employee. So if Uber and Lyft required all their Uber and Lyft drivers to have a business name, bam. Now they've just avoided everything.
Well, in that case, what they've done is essentially contracted with a number of independent third-party providers.
Yes.
So, but let's not go down that path, because that's not where this is going.
But that solves the problem, though.
That,
If you
okay.
read the rules,
If you guys want us to go down that path again, we will do that. So
you read the rules.
Okay, so let's go back to the other issue. I think there's a huge misconception here. A lot of the drivers think Uber and Lyft are making a ton of money,
Okay. Yep.
and they're actually losing money.
But look at all the. I mean, they're making a ton of money.
Okay,
They are.
okay, but you have to spend money if you're running a business.
But they're making a lot of money, though.
Define make.
Okay.
Not printing money, that's illegal.
but all these riders are giving Uber cash.
Right, but Uber has to pay the drivers.
Okay.
Uber has to run all the back office sites. They have to write the applications and run the applications. They have to build the network to support the
Well,
servers.
that's part of running a business. They should know that.
Right. Again, this is the distinction between running a business. I mean, let's be honest. You run a business.
Yes.
I could potentially run a business doing what I do. It's the kind of field that does.
I'm
have
trying to
a-
get him to do it. Help me.
So,
Don't tell employers. don't tell employers I've been trying.
yeah. So yeah, and he has, to be honest, it's about 30 minutes every other day on the drive into work. So, but that being said, running a business is hard. I mean,
Yeah.
I grew up working. My dad was self-employed. I mean, he was a guy that was.
So it runs in the family.
Yeah, skipped a generation. There, I saw how hard this was.
Most good things skip a generation.
Yes.
It's okay.
So, but let's think about it. You're self-employed.
Yep.
Is it hard?
Oh, frick yeah.
How many bosses do you have?
Depends on the day.
Okay, so if you think about it,
So technically, I'm my own boss. So be that. Yeah. So yes and no.
okay,
That is a tough question.
Yes.
It's a two-faced question. Because yes,
let's
I'm
not
my
use
own.
that term.
Um,
There's two sides of the coin.
Okay. So, I'm my own boss.
Kind of.
I am.
Yes, no,
I can
absolutely.
tell
You're
you
so you can decide
when
to go to work or not go to work. And that's kind of what happens to a lot of people that you work with.
Yes.
They decide to come in
like
late,
I tell
leave
people
early.
that. So if you don't know, I'm a truck driver by trade.
It's a
guess.
trade.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so the
By desire as much as anything.
right, I love driving. It's fun. But I also train people on how to drive trucks.
Okay.
And how to do
Not per se drive the truck,
Not drive.
but how to do
how
the
to do
delivery business.
Delivery business. And I tell them, and I know this kind of because we talked about this several times.
Yes.
Is I tell them that yes, you are your own boss, but in fact, you're employed by every person you do business with. They're all your bosses because without them, you don't make any money. So if when they say, hey, like today, hey, can you come and pick this up for me?
Right.
I say yes because I want to make money. If I say no, I don't make money. Does that mean he's my boss? Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so
He's telling me what to do, when to do it.
yeah, you're technically working for somebody for that period,
So I work for everybody.
Right.
Whenever they call me, and when I'm moving stuff, I work for them.
and you also work for your truck
Yes.
because you have to pay because you're spending a ton of money every month on your truck, insurance, and so in many cases, so you have all the things that I, as an employee, don't have to necessarily deal with.
Yes.
Because you've got to do all that. Now, both of us need to be able to provide more value than the cost of what we're doing.
True.
You know, if I'm not providing more value to the company that I work for, they will get rid of me. Well,
Yes.
they should.
If I don't provide more value to my company, I just
You got to go find another job.
Get broker and broker.
Yes, that's exactly what happens. So, and that's the reason you start early in the morning.
Yep.
You work late at night.
Yep.
Or later in the day. So, and you never stop during the course of the day.
I'll try not to.
Right. So, if not, as long as there's something to do, that what you've told the people that you work with is key is to keep your wheels rolling and be available.
If you're not moving, you don't make money.
And if you're not available, you don't make money.
Exactly.
So let's go back to tie this back into the gig economy.
So this goes the same thing for Uber and Lyft.
Right.
And these guys are. I've seen comments. I've seen videos about these guys they're trying to do this full time.
Which is okay.
Which is great, yeah. I mean, you can.
You do this full time.
Yeah, I do this. I do my stuff full time, and so they can do their stuff full time. But it's not the luxury that people think it is. Again, if you don't go out there and do stuff for these guys, if you don't keep your wheels turning, you're not making money.
And so,
is that Uber's fault or is that the driver's fault?
But is that the function of the gig economy? Let's go back to the gig economy. The gig economy initially was, yes, if you're willing to do the things required to earn a regular living doing this job, and you want to have the flexibility of being able to show up when you want to show up, stop when you need to stop, all of those kinds of things, the gig economy is great for you, but you have to be available in places that you can work.
And to be honest, the gig economy works. People that do work the gig economy and make money work harder than employees.
Absolutely. No question about it.
So that's, again, so is a gig economy even part-time? No.
Well, okay, so let's go back to the gig economy. The other thing is, let's say I just want to make some money on the side. I mean, Uber and Lyft got started with the idea that people just want to make some money on the side.
Yep, as they're commuting out of town.
As they're commuting out of town, be available. Let's say I live in an inner suburb area, I get home after work early, and I got a couple of hours. I can choose to play a video game, read a book. Who reads books these days, except me? And so
hopefully not while you're driving. We won't go there.
Yeah, we won't go there. My kids have stories. And they are not afraid to share, unfortunately, to the cop that pulled me over. So there are, if I choose to make that a productive time, I can sign up to type papers.
Sure. Yep.
I can be a potentially, if my downtime at work or my downtime when I'm not working and I'm at home might be during a peak period someplace, I could be an on-call service center person.
Sure.
So there's all sorts of things that I could do part-time. And that's really, I think, where the gig economy occasionally was originally at.
It's kind of that the gig economy is meant for overall high school students, college students.
Well, and I'm going to say professionals or hourly employees, whoever's got free time, and it may be that, because, again, we'll talk to the times of the Great Recession, they had lots of free time.
Well, so does the gig economy edge and flow based on the economy?
Yes, because there's going to be...
And so with the economy going down, what happens?
Okay, the economy's going down, there are fewer people working.
And so more people trying to do gigs.
More people trying to do gigs because whatever it takes to pay the mortgage, the rent, put food on the table.
Yep.
I mean, that's at some point in time, you're down to that level.
Yep. And so when the economy's doing well...
Which, oh, by the way, I was in 2011.
So when the economy's doing well,
yep,
you have less gigs.
Right.
Less people willing to do gigs.
When the economy is doing well, yes, it depends. There should be fewer people wanting to do part-time gigs, but then they hear the hype of, I can make a ton of money doing this, just like the folks that think they can take a ton of money on YouTube.
Yeah.
So YouTube is another form of gig economy.
Sure can.
We're going to do this. No, we're not making a ton of money at this.
A ton of money. We're not making any money. Shh. But that's because we don't have the required subscribers. So if you're watching this, tell your friends. Click the link below. Become a subscriber.
You can even, let's say you wanted to be a gig economy critic and wanted to practice. You can subscribe to us and provide critiques on what we do.
Every day. We're okay with that.
We're fine with that because I'm in a job where getting bad news is what I do for a living.
Exactly.
But anyway, and wherever the hell we were going. So the deal in what Forbes is, the Forbes articles, go back to why we're talking about the Forbes article.
Sure, yes.
The Forbes article, which is really good, I do encourage you to read this, is that not only are they not making any money, or not making money, and we could talk about the other things they invest in, which where David was trying to get to until he wandered way upstream. The other thing is, what if AB5 works and suddenly, essentially Uber and Lyft have to make all of their drivers employees. Suddenly, they have to be where they're supposed to be at time, at a place, for a period of time. That's going to be a big change to the environment.
That's going to be a big change for all the drivers.
Right, so they're going to go...
That's why, it's why they're not... It's why the Uber and Lyft drivers that work in major cities that have cab companies... Yeah. Next time, put our phones on silent.
Again, post, critique, provide us the comments.
So there's a reason why the Uber and Lyft drivers aren't working for a cab company.
Right.
Because they want the free time.
Right.
To do the same work. But yet, now if they're pushing to have Uber treat them like employees, that means they can't leave whenever they want.
So in theory, in a business, let's talk about, say, restaurants.
Okay.
When I was growing up in Phoenix, there were literally, and there were stats that showed this, 8 times as many restaurants in town as the population could support.
Okay.
I'm not going to say and especially in the summer. Not a lot of folks showed up in the summer. So, and not a lot of tourists there. So
it gets warm.
Just a wee bit. Okay, Minnesota in the winter. So, but in general, there tend to be more restaurants than a population can logically support.
True.
Now, what happens when that occurs?
Well, restaurants come and go.
Come and go. And that's the same thing that's going to happen with gig economy, is that, not everybody can be a Lyft and Uber driver and get 8 hours worth of work.
I mean, make money. Make money at it.
And not every gig, not every trip is going to make a ton of money.
True.
Some of them are going to make pretty good because they're around the corner. You drop them off, and you make a fast, whatever, $20 or $30.
Well, or if it's around the corner, you only make $5.
Right. So, so that's some of the things to think about with that. Just very similar to your job where you're delivering things.
Oh, yeah.
There's times that you make a pretty good, you can make a fair amount of money on a single delivery.
Yep. There are times where I'm making more than $2 a mile. There are times that I'm making less than $2 a mile.
Right. So, wow, are there times that you're only making $2 a mile? Sorry.
No.
The reality that comes into play then that this is where demand and supply come into play. Thank you.
Supply and demand, yes.
Yeah. Well, it does come into play. Not everybody can do that. I mean, does everybody have the ability to drive? Probably.
So this will affect people that want to do this part time.
Yes.
That aren't looking to do this full time.
Yeah, they're wanting to do this an hour or two a day.
And yet, but they will not be able to anymore.
Right.
If this passes. So the people that want to make Uber.
Not if it passes. It's been passed, and since our last show, signed into law. Starts in January. So no ifs, ands, or there's a but.
So yes, it was passed, but Uber and Lyft at least Uber is not going to comply.
Yeah, Uber has said they will not comply. It's going to go to court.
So
right, but
so depending on where that goes. So the people that want to do it full time, that aren't making any money at it, are then just become employees.
Well, and then the other thing to think about, and this is, there are people that do delivery services that don't make full-time money.
Yes.
Because they aren't available full-time. Maybe even if they're available full-time, but they're not in a place where that's possible. There's enough work.
Small town that I live in, I know of 2 Uber drivers.
Right.
They make like one trip out to the cities and then stay out there.
Right.
Because we have nothing going around here in town.
Then that's actually not a bad model, though,
No,
if you can do that. But if there's 30 of them, that's not going to work.
No.
So
Uber Lyft, they're making a ton of money, right?
No, they're not.
So why?
Well, okay, there are some things going on. I mean, they're investing in other things, but part of that is building. Amazon didn't make money for the longest time.
Yes.
That was
Netflix too.
Yes. So they changed their business model to be able to make money. So they determined what was necessary to sell to be able to do that. Now, if Uber and Lyft are forced to turn into what is essentially cab companies, they're probably not going to make, are they going to be, is that market already saturated?
Yeah. Are they going to be around any longer?
No.
But, so Uber, what else do they invest in?
Well, okay, so they've also got the self-driving cars.
Okay,
I would don't try to use the A word, but I always mispronounce it.
So, autonomous.
Thank you.
So,
I can read it, I can't say it.
oh, and the one person that can't read it can say it.
It's a good thing we can't see the clock to know how long this was going.
So, they're working on these autonomous cars.
Yes.
Maybe that's why they're not making any money.
Oh, okay, so that's always the question when you're running a business.
So
are you investing in your core business?
So is their core business giving people rides or building a first 100% autonomous car?
Well, if they use that to pick up and deliver people, yes, that's their business.
But currently, are they just using everybody that wants to work for them, well, drive for them? Are they just using them to funnel money into their overall business, their main business?
Well, okay, every company takes money that people are doing and funnels into their business, into their main business. That's what they do.
So, what happens when the autonomous cars become a reality?
Then all those investments have returned.
All the people that are driving the cars currently are no longer driving cars.
Maybe.
Not maybe. So if Uber does the right thing,
so let's say
this is my biggest thing. People aren't looking long term. People look toward
Okay, but I don't buy my groceries long term.
No. Okay, so people are looking at Uber and Lyft at short term. They're going, I'm gonna make money now.
Okay.
But yet, the money I'm helping them make is going toward.
But I don't care. This is a gig economy.
Yes, but in 5 years or less, when they do have a car.
If they have a car.
Takes 10 years, right?
Right.
Now we have no more people driving cars.
Well, and that's okay. So are the people that worked, good Lord have mercy.
If they're becoming if they want to become employees, yes.
Okay, but
they're trying to become employees of Uber.
So here's the benefit of the gig economy. Why am I the employee telling you this? The benefit of the gig economy is I can go do something else.
Yes, but the people that are pushing this don't want Uber and Lyft to be a gig. They want Uber and Lyft they want to work for be an employee
right.
by Uber and Lyft.
And if we want to go all the way back, the reason they can't do that for the other companies is getting a job in a cab company can be a wee bit difficult.
Or getting a job if you have tattoos up all over your face.
Let's not even go there because that's not where we want to go.
Well, I'm just saying. So there are reasons why people have gigs,
right.
do gigs, and not full time,
right?
Because of their life choices,
right?
And I'm cool with what everybody's life choice is.
Right.
It's cool beans, cool to you. We all make our own path in this world, so I'm not saying it's bad,
right? And
but
you're living that life.
I'm living. Yes. My whole family hates what I do.
I don't. I just think you could be doing something else.
Yes. We are doing something else.
Okay.
Ta-da! So anyways. So with that, we'll wrap up today's video.
Please.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Click the link below to check out the Forbes article. It is a really good read.
Actually, yeah, I do absolutely love that article. It's a very nice rundown. I would also encourage you to take a look at the actual financial statements for the companies, for those of you that go down into that number of weeds to take a look at it. I think
That's not us at all.
Says the guy that reads privacy statements and terms of service agreements out loud, potentially on YouTube. But the thing to remember out of this is not everything is what it looks like, and what people want isn't necessarily what happens.
And every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction.
Oh well, now let's find a couple more tropes we can throw in there.
Right.
Take care, folks. Have fun.
Happy trails.